The second order is the symbolic order. The symbolic order is where the law steps in. The law is the application of consistency and agreements to the psychic system and is based on an idea of symbolization within the mind. Here's an example. Right now you are hearing me speak and seeing images on a screen. What makes these stimuli anything more than meaningless babble or random projections of light onto your eyes? The only way we understand each other is through accepted agreements. We agree that we are using English to convey ideas, and since we both have knowledge of English, we can use the system to communicate. There is nothing absolute or universal about these agreements. We could agree to speak French, Russian, Latin, and as long as we agree and understand the systems, everything is fine. Lakon called the shift to the symbolic order the successful application of the name of the Father. Sure, he might have been a French chauvinist patriarch, but it's important to note that the Father does not just put himself in charge, like Peter Pan did. Instead, the Father informs us of the value of rules and symbols and lives under the rules himself. What Lakon is getting at is the way our minds use symbols. A symbol has a very interesting definition. It is simply something that stands for something else. They are simply the links of connection between ideas and the rules of how they fit together in specific ways. It's amazing that those simple links, when combined together and built on each other, can pretty easily describe the way humans think in general. Take a minute to observe yourself thinking. You will likely notice a mental observation of a flow of different ideas through your mind. In between every thought is an invisible, unconscious link, somehow linking one idea to the next. Memories, temporally linked past experiences. Science, logically linked abstracted ideas. Language, linguistically linked ideas. Music, musically linked ideas. Great, you might think. Now we have a symbolic solution to everything, right? Is symbolism the answer? Unfortunately, no. The very definition of a symbol reveals the problem. Symbols, by themselves, are really only reference to other symbols, which are only reference to still other symbols. If we look really closely at the symbols themselves, well, they're really nothing. It's just an agreed upon set of rules or links. We can make up 1,000 different languages or 50 different systems of thinking, some reasonable, some completely unreasonable. In many ways, unbridled symbolism has little connection to anything except to people who love bureaucracy for bureaucracy's sake. Also, systems of rules by themselves can become rigid, dogmatic, and frankly empty. An example of this is the stereotyped Department of Motor Vehicles. If everyone is just an extreme rule follower, soon everyone is just standing in line all day following rules in a way that is quite lifeless. That is why Lacan referred to symbolism as absence. There's really nothing there. What's really needed is a delicate balance of symbolism with just the right dashes of imagination. A good example of this is the medical team at a teaching hospital. Here, teams of young doctors work with a senior attending doctor who is officially in charge of the team. Each morning they go around to see patients to discuss them. Now, at these discussions, while the attending is technically in charge, it is actually the accepted rules of logic, science, and the medical literature that determine what is done. However, in a hospital, people also accept that in reality things are not always easy or obvious. Heart attacks, indigestion, and pneumonia can present with identical complaints. So it actually takes a combination of creativity, imagination, and proper symbolization to figure things out. On a well-operating medical team, everyone, including the attendings, bend their knees to this system. Individuals are allowed to make imaginative hunches about what is going on, but hunches require more than just imagination. They also have to overcome hurdles of logic and medical expertise. A hunch by itself is worthless, but an informed hunch, backed up by logic, the medical literature, scientific tests, and the support of colleagues determines action, regardless of who came up with the idea.